Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from Benzino, who recently addressed one of 2024's most viral moments in hip-hop that gave us this classic.
For 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. Come on, man. Nah, man. Ooh, we're failing as a people. Ooh.
And we'll expand on this in a moment, as we also had to fact-check Benzino every step of the way, since he sneakily tried to play the victim. More on this in a moment. And today we also have what looks to be another wild clash in 2024, when Snoop Dogg got dissed by a plus-size rapper for criticizing his performance, and Snoop Dogg cleared the air a few hours ago in response to Dave Blunt's rant on stage. More on this in a moment. And today we'll be starting with one that's come from Lil Wayne's response to Kendrick Lamar calling him out on whacked out murals. And we got Charlamagne out here sending a warning to Lil Wayne, since word on the street is that Lil Wayne went in the studio to record a Kendrick Lamar diss song. Check out a snippet from The Breakfast Club, where they also spoke about Drake's lawsuit against UMG.
Now listen, Lil Wayne is a top 5 MC of all time.
Absolutely.
If you're being objective, right, I have to put Lil Wayne in my top 5. He don't want no problems with Kendrick right now. And the reason he don't want no problem with Kendrick right now is because emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, Lil Wayne is not on the level to get at Kendrick. Because Kendrick would break down Lil Wayne's whole life in a very therapeutic way.
Yeah, and it's not even, but what he said didn't cause for that reaction
No.
to me. Drake, on the other hand, he filed 2 lawsuits against UMG, like to push Not Like Us to make it as big as it was.
Right.
Now, on
The same thing UMG has been doing for him his whole career.
You predicted this 6 months ago on Brilliant Idiots.
I did predict that.
But he basically feels like, yo, UMG, and he's suing, and he's not suing Kendrick. A lot of people was in the comments, he's suing Kendrick. No, he's suing UMG and Spotify, basically saying like, y'all let this man call me pedophile on this song that costed me money.
Well, he's not
Like,
suing anybody yet. He just filed a petition.
well, yeah, but it wouldn't be against Kendrick. It would be UMG and Spotify.
Man,
Yeah.
please. You know Kendrick was in that house. I ain't shooting Kendrick. I just shot up the house. Knock it off. Okay, what are you talking about? You know what you're doing. It's just showing me that Drake does not understand culture, because Not Like Us was a cultural phenomenon. You can't program a record like that. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if one day California made Not Like Us their actual state motto. That's how big that record is. And it has nothing to do with programming a playlist or paying a radio station.
Yeah, I thought the lawsuit was whack. And the reason I think it was whack is diss records and talking about people in records have been going on since the beginning of hip hop. But not only that, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Drake throw shots at Kendrick that necessarily weren't true too?
Yeah, he said Kendrick beat his woman. He said that Kendrick's one of their children was Dave Free, his man's child. That's who got this. By the way, if anybody wanted to sue for defamation, it could be Kendrick's girl. She got the slam dunk defamation suit because she's a civilian. It's hard to prove defamation against public figures, but she's a civilian. She don't got nothing to do with none of this. And you said she got beat on, and you said that one of her children, it was somebody else's and not Kendrick's? Okay.
I thought that was whack. I think at this point, yes, you take the L, you regroup, and you put out an album, and not the album party. Put out a rap album.
And this is perhaps one of the rare occasions in which most people agree that Charlamagne was cooking, as we got takes like, this is the one time I actually agree with Charlamagne. Drake just needs to take his L and fall back. However, some believe there's still a motive at play here. Check it out. Dogg mad, he about to expose them for taking money from labels, lol. Them industry puppets gonna cry to protect their masters. And all I'll add to this is that 2 things can be correct at once, and make of that what you will. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts later in the comment section. And moving on, rapper Dave Blunt, who Snoop Dogg put on blast for his performance sitting down with well, put down the chicken wings and tater chips, nephew. That chair gon' break soon. Get to the end of the cup. Laughing emojis. Well, it turns out that Dave Blunt wasn't gonna let this slide, as during his recent performance, he put Snoop Dogg on blast. And Snoop cleared the air hours ago on social media.
That was funny. Go ahead, little homie. I mean, big homie. Do your thing, cuz. I ain't with you. Have your fun. I apologize to this nigga. He's still going off on me, cuz. I must be getting old. I can't put down the cup.
And some believe this is a record. Dave Blunt's the first underground rapper to get an apology by an old school rapper. And 2024 continues to be one of the most chaotic years in hip-hop in the 21st century. And moving on to Benzino, during a recent interview on Real Life Productions Street Stars podcast, we saw a more level-headed Benzino speak about the Eminem situation, but don't be fooled this time around, as he also played the victim at every chance he got. And we combed through the interview every step of the way. Check out snippets from Real Life Productions.
Eminem earned his way, man. Eminem raps good, man. He has a whole state, Michigan, that support him. We don't even have to say Detroit, because Detroit, people kind of get it twisted with Detroit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in Detroit don't even listen to Eminem because it's a black city, but Michigan is so huge.
Now, before we continue, I don't know where Benzino is getting his stats from. Just because a city is black, they all refuse to listen to Eminem's music. And as usual, we came with the facts to give you some perspective on how he's once again talking out of his bum. Eminem's peak date on Spotify in Detroit was after he dropped The Death of Slim Shady, and he hit this peak on the 25th of July, a peak of 398.8 thousand monthly listeners in Detroit, and this is from Spotify's database. Now here's the kicker. Using Big Sean as a reference point, Big Sean hit his peak monthly listeners in Detroit in July of this year with 179.8 thousand monthly listeners. And guess what also happened to Big Sean around that time? He was featured on Eminem's album. Oh, and if you were with us a few months back, you remember when Detroit rapper Skilla Baby went on a podcast talking about how no one listens to Eminem in Detroit.
But nobody in Detroit plays Eminem right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Skilla Baby hit his peak monthly listeners in Detroit in May 2024, 70.8 thousand monthly listeners, and he has since fell back to his usual of 34,000 in Detroit. So as it stands, claiming people in Detroit don't listen to Eminem because Detroit is black is utterly baseless. The stats prove this to be wrong, but Benzino had more to add.
He earned his way, but he's a rapper. Hip hop is our culture.
Right.
Came to be our culture. He's not a part of that part of it.
Because a lot of things that often get me is people will say he's like #1 in hip hop or he's the best.
Well, that's up to them to feel that way.
Right.
Everybody, what makes us individuals from 8 billion people on this earth is our. And it's good to respect it. I respect anybody that likes him. You know what I'm saying? I don't allow, his fans have a hard time respecting anybody who don't like him. That's the problem, because in there it's like, oh, because he's white. No, you might not just like his music. There's a lot of black people music I don't like. I like white people music too.
And before we continue, this is Benzino caught with his pants down once again. He's trying to flip it when he literally challenged the crew on Drink Champs when they said they liked Eminem, and this was his retort back then.
Bro, let me tell you, his fans like him because he's white. They don't with us.
Let me try to make
Eminem. I
yeah.
dusted Eminem. Why do y'all give Eminem so much props? Why? Why do y'all like Eminem? Because he's white? Is that it? What do you mean? Nah, like, what? That. We don't listen to that in the hood, bro.
So clearly, now he's trying to flip it like it is the fans that push the race angle, like he wasn't the one pushing it for decades, the narrative that white people only like Eminem because he's white. And Benzino went on to speak on the infamous moment that broke the internet when he broke down in tears over the Eminem beef.
There's a clip of like you crying about the beef.
I was drunk.
Okay.
Drunk.
Yeah.
I was drunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, drunk as a. I want to get drunk. You know, me and Nori, that's one of my closest friends. I've done about 4 interviews. I said, this time I'm gonna get drunk this time, because I want to open up. I got too drunk.
Right.
There's a stage of drunk where it's like, okay, I'm talking good. Then towards a little more, my mouth is getting numb. I could barely move it. I don't think I can. Then a little more, I'm starting to kind of get black and dizzy. Now it's like I'm getting emotional. And then after it was over, I passed out. My girl drove me to the hotel. You want to hear some crazy shit about that interview?
Yeah.
I never went back and watched it. Ain't that crazy?
Right.
I never went back. I seen clips.
Right.
But I never went back and watched the whole interview. I was alcohol make it come out. And I do know that part where it was probably 20 years of frustration of people coming at me, pages getting deleted, me going at people, y'all kept your money. Like that's after a while, man, I should have, 20 years of that shit. So, and like 15 pages later, Instagram pages later, like, you know what I mean? I probably just a little frustration came out, I'm human.
And just in case you were wondering why Eminem doesn't respond to every John Doe who calls him out on a song, just take a look at how Benzino is so proud that his name is attached to greatness. He went on about how history will remember his name whenever they bring up Eminem moving forward.
You know what I'm proud of the most? When me and Eminem's dead, you're not gonna be able to say his name without mentioning Benzino.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
That's how I know about you.
Yeah, it opened your whole.
You're not gonna be able to say his name without mentioning me, and his people know that. So, not that really makes a big thing to me, because I got my own name. Like Benzino's, people have named dogs, cats, frogs, turtles, hamsters, are all Benzino.
That's a Benzino dog. That's a Benzino dog, built just like a frog. That's a Benzino dog. I want me a motherfucking Benzino dog.
And they were out here gassing up Benzino over Rap Elvis, but it was good to see that he admitted that he had a whole team of writers working with him.
On Rap Elvis, that was the one I felt like you got him. I felt like you was on his ass on that Rap Elvis, bro.
It was just a good time and period. Like I was with the right group of guys, we came up with it. The beat was dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got his ass back. I'm sure he knows that too, you know. And who knew that it would end like that? Because I thought it was over. When he came back with that song saying something about me and Coy, he just opened the door. So I said, wait a minute, hold up.
And this is something we've come to expect from Benzino. He went on a press run talking about Eminem in dozens of interviews. Eminem dissed him on Doomsday Part 2, and now he plays the victim, like Eminem just happened to mention him out of the blue. So clearly, no matter how level-headed he pretends to be in some interviews, typical Benzino always creeps out. Zero accountability, the eternal victim. And let's continue.
Did the 2 songs, went right to Mom's Spaghetti, stayed out there for about a week. It went crazy. It was up for that whole few weeks with that. So, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty dope. It's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I respect Eminem, who he is as an artist. At some point, we got to move on. He's dope. I can name a million other black guys that are dope.
There's just one song he said, basically he was talking, he was like, there was no gangsters in Boston or something like that.
Eminem did not grow up gangster, and Eminem knows that. Look at Eminem's life. Eminem's been sheltered his whole life with security. So Eminem probably got mad anxiety, he probably can't even be by himself and walk through a mall. Of course, I'm sure he would get mobbed, but just feeling safe. Like his whole life he's been sheltered. You can catch me at the most craziest gas station in any hood in America. He'd be like, that you, Zeno? I'm like, yo, get some swish downs. What's up, buddy? Go, let me get that picture. Yeah. We're different.
And this is ironic that Benzino says Eminem never grew up, but he's pushing 60, talking about being gangster, all while he expects the rapper who became the quote Michael Jackson equivalent of rap/hip-hop music. He expects such a rapper with this level of popularity to be able to walk in the mall like a regular civilian. We're talking about a rapper who can sell back-to-back 90,000 capacity stadiums in foreign countries, the same rapper whose popularity blew Joe Rogan away in 2024.
I saw him over here at the racetrack. Really? He played at Coda. Yeah, it was awesome. It was like 100,000 people were there. It's one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen. It was insane.
Benzino is pushing 60, and he's still not grown enough to understand that his level of fame and Eminem's aren't in the same galaxy. So speaking on what he can do in public compared to the quote MJ equivalent of rap is redundant and I'd say even delusional, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.